In the early 1990s, the video game industry was a battlefield. Nintendo and Sega were locked in a console war so intense it made the Cold War look like a casual game of tic-tac-toe. Enter Ken Kutaragi, a man with a dream, a soldering iron, and the guts to risk it all. This is the story of how one engineer's obsession with gaming revolutionized the industry and almost got him fired along the way. Ken Kutaragi wasn't your typical Sony employee. While his colleagues focused on Walkmans and Trinitron TVs, Kutaragi was busy tinkering with video games. His daughter's love for Nintendo sparked an idea. What if Sony, the king of consumer electronics, made a gaming console? It was a bold thought, especially since Sony's executives dismissed video games as a passing fad like disco or mullets. But Kutaragi wasn't one to back down. In 1991, Kutaragi secretly collaborated with Nintendo to develop a sound chip for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. That chip, the SPC 700, was a masterpiece, giving the SNES its iconic audio. When Sony's higher-ups found out, though, they were furious. Kutaragi had essentially been moonlighting for the competition. He was nearly fired, but Norio Oga, Sony's president, saw potential in his rebellious engineer. Oga gave him a lifeline. If you're so passionate about gaming, why don't you make a console for Sony? That's how the PlayStation was born. Well, sort of. The original plan was a CD-ROM add-on for the SNES, a partnership between Sony and Nintendo. But in a shocking twist, Nintendo betrayed Sony at the 1991 Consumer Electronics Show, announcing a partnership with Philips instead. Sony was humiliated, and Kutaragi was furious. With Oga's backing, Kutaragi decided to go solo. He put together a scrappy team of engineers, designers, and dreamers to create a console that would blow Nintendo and Sega out of the water. The PlayStation would feature 3D graphics, a CD-ROM drive, and a futuristic controller. But the road to success wasn't smooth. Sony's board of directors was skeptical. They didn't understand gaming or Kutaragi's vision. At one point, they tried to shut the project down, but Kutaragi fought back. He argued the PlayStation wasn't just a gaming console, it was the future of entertainment. Slowly, he won them over. In 1994, the PlayStation launched in Japan, and it was an instant hit.
You're looking at the biggest single product Sony has ever had, the PlayStation game console.
Gamers loved the graphics, the library of games, and the edgy marketing. Sony positioned the PlayStation as the cool, rebellious alternative to Nintendo's family-friendly image, with ads featuring surreal visuals and the slogan, "Live in your world, play in ours." But Kutaragi wasn't done. He knew the PlayStation had to succeed globally, which meant taking on Sega's Saturn in the West. The 1995 North American launch was a masterstroke. Sony priced the PlayStation at $299, undercutting the Saturn by $100. They secured partnerships with top developers, ensuring a steady stream of must-play games like Final Fantasy VII and Metal Gear Solid. By the end of the decade, the PlayStation had sold over 100 million units, cementing Kutaragi's legacy as a visionary. Of course, no success story is without its challenges. Kutaragi's later projects, like the PlayStation 3, faced issues with high costs and technical hurdles. But even in failure, Kutaragi's influence was undeniable. He transformed Sony from a traditional electronics company into a gaming powerhouse, and his legacy lives on in every PlayStation console.